Oh my god.
So today guys, we'll be making my smoked haddock, cod and herb fish cake. Served with a cheddar cheese and chive sauce made from the poaching liquid of the smoked haddock, taking it to another level of smoky goodness. I'll also be giving you tips on how to breadcrumb properly so your hands look like this and not like this.
You know what, enough talking. Let's get straight to the recipe. So first things first, we'll be roughly chopping and boiling the potatoes. I'm not going to bother using a peeler because I want to keep it rustic. There's loads of flavor and nutrition in the skin. Once the potatoes are cooked, you want to drain them and let them cool down. Next we'll be poaching this beautiful smoked haddock and this cod. And once the fish is poached, we'll be using the same poaching liquid to make the cheese sauce. For that we'll be slicing an onion first. We'll be chopping 2 garlics. Next we'll be adding the butter to the pan along with the onions and the garlic. So you want to gently cook these onions off so it brings out the natural sweetness and flavor that complements the poached fish. See, once the onions are cooked, it's time to add the cod and the smoked fish into the mix. Next you'll be adding your milk to poach the fish.
We'll be gently poaching the fish on a low to medium heat. This will help infuse the flavor of the smoked haddock into the milk.
Next you want to put a lid on it and let it gently poach for at least 15 minutes. So while the fish is poaching, we are going to chop up some herbs for our fish cakes. I've got some parsley, chives and some dill.
See, the easiest way to chop dill and parsley is to roll it up in a ball. That makes it way easier to handle. Once you have done chopping, make sure to mix all the herbs together.
To this herb mix, I'll also be adding 2 chopped spring onions. See, now that the fish is ready, we're going to gently lift it and put it in this mixing bowl.
See, it doesn't matter if you get some onions with it.
This fish mix will be next adding the potatoes and the chopped up herbs, some salt and some freshly ground pepper. And now for my secret ingredient, mayonnaise. You need to trust me on this. For the people who have eaten my fish cakes before, you know they are good. You need to give a good squeeze of mayonnaise. I would say that's 2 tablespoons. Next, you want to mash this all up.
See, don't worry about mashing it too much. You want nice big chunky bits of fish in it. So halfway through with a spoon, just give it a mix.
Once everything's mixed up, you want to taste it for seasoning. Need a little bit more salt. And there's something else missing. I know what's missing, lime. That's what was missing, half a lime juice. Just look at the color. The smokiness of the fish, the delicate herbs, the freshness of the lime juice, and the beautiful cod. This fish cake is gonna be epic. So we are going to put this fish cake mix in the fridge to cool down. It's going to make it so much easier to shape later on. So while the fish cake mix is cooling down in the fridge, we are going to make some cheese sauce.
See, to make the cheese sauce, we'll be basically making a roux first. It is made by cooking butter and flour together, cooking it for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we'll be adding the smoked haddock milk to it. This is basically bechamel or white sauce.
Make sure to cook this for 8 to 10 minutes until it's thick. Once it's nice and thick, we are going to add some milk, some salt, pepper, cheese. We'll also be adding some fish sauce, but you don't have to, it's optional. But fish sauce is going to give it that umami flavor. We'll be blitzing it up into a nice smooth sauce. The sauce is so good, I could literally just drink it by itself. And we'll be finishing off the smoked haddock cheese sauce with some delicate flavor of chives. Now that the fish cake mix is cooled down, we are going to shape it and then bread it.
See, my fish cakes are about 90 grams, but you can make them as large or as little as you like. You should get about 9 fish cakes from this mix.
We are going to panko breadcrumb the fish cakes. To panko breadcrumb the fish cakes, we are going to use flour, eggs, some milk, and some panko breadcrumbs. You don't need to use panko breadcrumbs, you can just use normal breadcrumbs. I'm using panko breadcrumbs because I have some in the house.
So let's set up a breading station. So set up your flour in the first bowl, in the second bowl you'll have eggs with a little bit of milk, and in the third you'll have your breadcrumbs.
See, the correct way to breadcrumb is to use one hand for the dry ingredient and one hand for the wet ingredient.
See, I'm using my left hand to pick up the fish cake, but I'm using my right hand to mix it in the flour. I'm then again using my left hand to mix it in the egg wash and put it in the breadcrumbs, but using my right hand to mix it in the breadcrumbs. See, so that way my left hand only touches the wet ingredients and my right hand only touches the dry ingredients. And that way none of them get messy.
See, I'm going to show you what happens if you don't keep one hand for dry ingredients and one hand for wet ingredients.
See, basically if you just use one hand to flour it, egg wash it and breadcrumb it, you're actually going to end up breadcrumbing your fingers as well. That's only after 2 fish cakes. Imagine it after 9 fish cakes. So to fry the fish cakes, put enough oil in a pan to cover the bottom of it.
To check if your oil is ready, drop a few breadcrumbs.
The breadcrumbs should start sizzling.
Once your pan is hot enough, add your fish cakes.
Now cook them for 10 to 15 minutes until they are golden brown. Once they are golden brown, flip them over. Do this a few times until it reaches the color you're satisfied with. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel to know when the next video is coming up. Next, take a plate and put a paper towel on it. Once your fish cakes is cooked, put your fish cakes on it to absorb the excess oil. And there you have it. Your cheddar cheese and chive sauce with smoked haddock, cod and herb fish cake. Hope you enjoyed this recipe and make sure to join me next week.